Yo,
What's up, folks?
happy Friday, Bill.
Happy Friday. And not just any Friday. It's a Friday of a long weekend.
Friday, a very long weekend. I'm pretty excited about it because for some crazy reason, next week I work Tuesday to Saturday, which means I get Monday off, and it's a 3-day weekend for
Don't question it. Don't
me.
question.
So, of course, I'm not complaining about it. I'm getting ready for that. We appreciate you, love you, and thank you for joining us 513 SIP live on the SIN YouTube channel, sponsored by the Dugout of Millwood. And um, of course, it's been a wild week so far for the NBA. Two absolute nail biter, four really nail biters to start the conference final. It's been absolutely sensational. We'll get to that in a second. Um, Big Giants news that came down today.
I have thoughts on this.
Billy Boy is going to talk about that, and then of course, a top five. Yeah, I think you're gonna love the top five Met fans because it might involve you
The
or
Lovable will
or
get
Cleveland
there.
Browns or the New York Knicks. I don't know. It might involve you. It might involve y'all, but
So
uh,
be. So keep listening.
and then of course, sad news in the racing world that we'll also get to in a second. Bill, how was the Yankee game? You went to the
Okay, for those of you who don't know, I was at the Yankee game last night.
yeah,
They lost 2-0 to Toronto, which, dude, that was a boring game.
I believe it.
I had good seeds, so but that's got to count for something.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Obviously the Yankees split with the Blue Jays, which is not ideal, but we'll take it over losing the series or getting swept. Um, yeah, no, I mean I watched highlights of it, and of course, uh,
Were there any highlights of it?
yeah, no hitting, a lot of good pitching.
Hey, well done. Who's
It,
proud
it,
of
it-
pitched good last night?
that was his first good start back in the majors. So that was good to see. Um, but it's the classic tale. Yankees don't capitalize with runners in scoring position when there were runners in scoring position, which was, you know, and of course, even though the Yankees pitched well, Blue Jays tacked on what, 2 runs and kept the Yankees quiet for most part. So sucks.
So, no, but I still love going to games, but last night was just a snore fest.
Yeah, man. I wouldn't want. I would much rather be watching the watch party at 7th Avenue for the Knicks than watch that crap over in the Bronx.
No,
So
because I got to tell you, you know what? I think this is a good transition. What do you think? Um, no, because they actually showed the score to the game, to the Knicks game, and I saw a lot of Knicks jerseys last night.
yeah, I believe it. There's this
And
Knicks fever, bro.
and people were like, and people were like, and when they showed the score, people were like, Knicks in six, Knicks in six.
Yeah, the
And
people
like
at the Garden were chanting Knicks in four. So, uh,
so, yeah, but they were like, it's like the stadium is like saying, okay, give your vote. Okay, now back to watching this depressing game
mhm,
that you paid good money for.
yeah,
And then when I was on the train, because the first stop, let me tell you, it was packed. I'm telling you, there was a big group of people. They were probably all like teens, early 20s. And I and I'm just and oh, they're all going, yeah. And I'm like sitting there like, am I just becoming a curmudgeonly 30-something-year-old? But I'm like, would you all just shut up? But
oh, Bill is starting to fall into into the old man habits. Uh,
God, if I gonna soon be sitting on my front porch screaming, "Get off my lawn!"
yeah.
Um, but anyway, no, they were exciting, good for them. And it was the last minute I hear it on the train. Let's go, Knicks! Let's go, Knicks! And then
And
they got
rightfully
off the
so.
train,
Hmm.
and then 2-0. So yeah, what a nail biting first two games.
Hmm. And like I said, the first four games of these conference finals between the West and the East, I mean, sensational. The first two games both go into overtime. Of course, Wemby and the Spurs take game one, steal home court advantage. OKC did take game two easily. Knicks went to overtime with the Cavs. They had a massive 22-point comeback, Billy Boy. It was funny because I was directing my 10 o'clock newscast in
Yeah.
Washington. And of course, during the newscast, I'm getting like pissy and furious. I'm I'm getting mad at my assistant director, which I feel horrible, but I ended up apologizing to him.
You
Um,
better buy him a coffee or something.
oh no, no, no. It's his birthday today, so shout out to him actually.
Oh, what's his
Um,
name?
his name is Michael.
Happy birthday, Michael.
Great guy. Um,
And if
and
Greg says you're a great guy, then I believe him.
Yeah,
You
no,
sound like
and
a good guy.
he took it like a pro. So I appreciated that because he didn't have to. He could have screamed at me, be like, pay the fuck attention. Like, but the Knicks game was on. Knicks are down 22, about 7 minutes to go. Of course, I'm like, this game's over. Knicks not winning. And of course, I'm just furious because it's like, even though it's a long series, and I expect it to be a long series, the Knicks cannot lose game one. He's like, if you want to lose
No,
game two, you lose game two. Game one is a must have
no,
because,
because I've heard a statistic that when the Knicks lose game one, they lose the
well,
series.
especially when it's game one at home, they lose the series. So, but yeah, game one in general, when the Knicks lose, it's going to be a tough series for them. Um, and of course, there's questions about rust and everything, and they looked pretty rusty game one. They did.
Oh, they did.
It was very obvious. But uh then the Knicks started going on a roll. Obviously, the quick 5 points. You had Brunson with a quick two, then Shaman with a quick three, and the Cavs went completely cold after that. Brunson taking over the game. He was sensational in the fourth quarter. Of course, Brunson's always been a big fourth quarter guy. Um, but Brunson was sensational in the fourth quarter. You had big plays out of Mikal Bridges. He hit a couple big threes down the stretch. Landry Shamet, obviously, the big play of the game when he tied it. The shades of Tyrese Halliburton, the ball bouncing off the rim. You don't know if it's going in or not, and it falls in. And I went bananas after that. Like I just couldn't believe it. Um, but of course, that the Knicks forced overtime, and then the overtime period, it was not even close. Like the
Because you
Cavs,
know what it is?
the Cavs were in disarray. And Bill, I'll get you a point in a second. 44-11 run in the last 12 minutes and 45 seconds for the Knicks. 44-11. They outscored the Cavs.
You know what it is? It's like, okay, game one with the Knicks, I'm like sitting there thinking, okay, listen, glad you made that amazing comeback, but you can't always do this. And we talked about this last year
Yeah,
in the playoffs. Like the problem is like, and it's not a problem that they come back. I'm happy they come back. But my problem, Reggie, is you can't always fall behind. And like, while the comebacks are good, there's gonna come a game when you're gonna dig yourself too deep in the hole. You can't come out,
yeah,
and you can't come back.
yeah,
So, and I think that was okay. Like, glad they came back, but you can't do this throughout the series.
Yeah. And look, I think getting that, I think the fact that they were well rested and rusty actually helped them because the Cavs, like I said, were up 22 with about 7 minutes to go. They wanted that game to be done, bro. Like they were completely out of it. They're like, okay, cool, whatever. We'll just chill out and then allow them not necessarily allow the Knicks to come back and take the lead and stuff, but just let them do whatever. The problem is they got complacent and it got to a point where Brunson and the Knicks coaching staff, Mike Brown did a tremendous job with that comeback too. Um, it got to a point where the Knicks started dictating what the terms were of that game. And of course, Brunson being on James Harden being on Brunson, it was a mismatch of epic proportion. Everyone who knows James Harden knows that he is not a great defensive guy. Never has been, never will be. And it was a nightmare to watch if you're the Cavaliers or Cavaliers fans to watch James Harden get absolutely smoked by Jalen Brunson at the end of that game. And leading to the big comeback, Knicks had everything they wanted, just like the Cavs had everything they wanted with the Knicks for the first 3 quarters. The Knicks had everything they've ever wanted against the Cavaliers in that fourth quarter in overtime. Sensational.
Let me ask. Okay, now the big question. What crowd are we going to agree with? The 7th Avenue Madison Square Garden crowd that's chanting Nixon 4 or the Yankee Stadium crowd that's chanting Nixon 6? Who?
I'm leaning towards the Yankee Stadium crowd.
Me too, because we want to know something. Okay, Knicks are in a good place right now. They're up 2-0.
Yeah.
But they go to Cleveland game threes tomorrow night. And Reggie, Cleveland is not going to take this line down.
Yeah. I think look, the Knicks have learned their lesson, right? Over the past few years. Don't take anything for granted and win the games when you're supposed to. Well, they've done that so far. Um, and of course, we pivot to game two. Game two, um, obviously it was tight in the beginning. Cavs playing very well, and Knicks going back and forth and everything. But ultimately, it was the Knicks at the end coming away because they made the big shots while Cavaliers couldn't hit anything. And they were nutty at times. Knicks learned their lessons.
Yes.
They got deeper on the bench. They have everyone on their team that could beat you. Josh Hart had his best playoff performance ever with 26 points. And I think he hit like 5 threes or whatever. And of course, Josh Hart didn't start off the game very well. Like he actually was piss poor to start the game. Um, but the Knicks are ready for the moment.
They
They
are.
now have a 2 game series lead in this best of 7 finals, East conference final, excuse me. And they are absolutely, along with the fans, absolutely dreaming of this idea of an NBA finals.
As I've been saying this for the last few days, I've been saying this for, I said this yesterday. Knicks fan, like if the Knicks make it to the NBA finals, not just make it, they go to the NBA finals, this city will explode
Mm-hmm.
in the best way possible.
True.
And if they win, grease those poles, NYPD, grease those poles.
Hmm.
This city will be shut down for months.
I mean, you have to understand, Bill.
And I won't see Reggie for 6 months, which I'll be very sad about.
You have to understand something, Bill. There's already a party across the city and the region. We're not even in the NBA finals yet.
And the party's already started.
You got people climbing up buildings, like you said, climbing up poles and, you know, ooh, doing all these crazy things. Like, Bill, they're dreaming of a possible championship. Of course, I don't think the Knicks are going to win a championship because I think the West is too strong. But the dream is there.
It is.
And that's the exciting part about this is that we can sit there thinking, wow, the NBA Finals, we're on the cusp of it, of an appearance for the first time since 1999. And
Oh,
it feels
dude, it's
so
crazy.
damn good, Billy Boy.
It feels it feels so good, so good, so good.
You know, I'm thinking back to little me. The Knicks were my first love. Everyone knows that the Knicks are my first love. Even though the Yankees are my favorite team of all time, the Knicks were the first team I ever truly said I was a fan of. And I remember sitting there as a kid, disappointed with, playoff losses to the Nets and the Miami Heat and the Indiana Pacers and, all these teams, the Boston Celtics. Like, I just remember being that kid, whether I was a little scrum watching Latrell Sprewell, to when I was a teenager watching Stephon Marbury or to the mellow years and Amari and Tyson Chandler, all those people, J.R. Smith, like, you know, I think back to that boy. What would it kill that boy? He would kill everything to see what I'm seeing right now. It's been a glorious, glorious journey. And I hope it continues.
No, I agree with you, Reggie. I totally agree. So, Knicks up 2-0 when it comes to the Western Series.
Mhm. Yeah, that series is tied right now. You have the Thunder winning game two. Of course, that was expected. Even though the Spurs made it tight again, that was expected because of the fact that you know the Thunder they lost home court, but they were not going to allow the Spurs to go up 2-0. So it definitely a good win by the Thunder. Great games out of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He had 30 points in 38 minutes. Our old friend Isaiah Hartenstein had 10 points of his own. Chet Holmgren had 13 of his own. Poor thing, though. Jalen Williams has a hamstring injury. He's questionable for game three. He was ruled out in game two. I don't know if he's playing because that's the same hamstring that has been keeping him out for the longest time. So I feel bad for the guy, and I feel bad for Oklahoma City. They gave him a lot of money after winning last year to be part of that core, and hasn't stayed healthy. Um, but shout out to OKC. Shout out to the bench too. Alex Caruso was absolutely sensational in this playoff series so far. He had 17 on the night, um, going along with his 31 in game one. So, like I said, four nail biters to start the conference final.
Agreed.
Loved it. Loved it.
Yes, getting off to a great start.
Yes. And the Spurs and Thunder, they're in San Antonio. They'll be in there for game three. Series is tied tonight. And then, of course, the Knicks and Cavs, their game three is tomorrow night. And so pumped for that.
You are so Reggie, if the Knicks win this series, are we going to be seeing you do a backflip?
I have no coordination, so no.
Now, because that's what me and my dad been saying. Is Reggie going to do a backflip?
I mean, if you want to see me paralyzed,
No,
then
I don't want to
sure.
see you paralyzed.
Other than that, I'm
No,
sorry.
Reggie, don't hurt yourself.
Nah, man. I will say this. Um,
Yeah.
you're gonna see a side of me that you haven't seen in a long time. The paranoia mixed with the excitement and me wanting to choke someone and shake.
Oh,
Um,
well, I'm not the one you want to choke.
yeah, no, I don't want to choke you. I don't know who I should. Maybe I should get a doll and choke that.
Wait, did you say doll or dog?
Doll.
Good,
Doll.
because if you choked a dog, I'd smack you upside the head.
Oh God, no. Well, first things first, I don't want any animal rights activists and humane society to come and attack me or anything. So, you know.
Cancel Reg.
Uh,
And then we get a 3 hour loop of the dog with Sarah McLachlan playing in the background. Do we really want that, folks?
in the arms of a black convict.
What is wrong with us? We are too sick human beings sometimes.
Yeah, man.
It's like, have you ever seen that thing? It had all the Jet fans crying and it had Angel playing in the background.
Yes.
You know, and I kind of
It's
feel
funny.
bad for
Funny
Sarah
shit.
McLachlan that song is now associated with the ASPCA and depressed Jet fans.
Right.
You know, she seems like a nice lady, but I don't think I'd ever want to see her in concert.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of her music anyway. So it's like,
And she's talented. It's just that, when
sure.
I walk out of, like, when I saw Journey, the last song was Don't Stop Believing. When I saw Foo Fighters, the last song was Everlong. I want to walk out feeling, whoa, that was so great. I feel great. That was awesome. I don't want to walk out thinking of either Sad Puppies, Angel, or I Will Remember You, thinking about my dead relatives, or thinking about Jesse in Toy Story 2.
Right.
I don't want to walk out feeling like I need antidepressants. Um, okay, so NBA Finals or conference finals. So now we go to some sad news yesterday. NASCAR driver Kyle Busch has unexpectedly passed away from a sudden and severe illness at the age of 41.
Yeah, I mean, this is devastating. I mean, I know a lot of people at work who, obviously people who worked on my sports team, they've interviewed Kyle Busch, and it's a big deal. I know one of my coworkers is also a major NASCAR fan. So this is devastating for him too. Um, I mean, he was just in Delaware last weekend racing. And Like it's just really, really shocking to see that. Um, Apparently he had been suffering from like a sinus cold, sinus infection type of thing. Um, which of course, you don't want to be racing in that because of the how fast these cars go and everything. So he was not going to race this weekend. I don't know if that sinus thing may have contributed to it and the fact that he was racing. Like, there's so many unanswered questions because the family's refusing to share any big details right now.
Listen, right now, I think we need to understand, his wife just lost her husband,
Yeah,
and he's got two somewhat young kids. He's got a son who I think is 11,
yeah,
and he's got a daughter who's 4. So, wait, I wouldn't consider 11 a young kid, would you?
I would. I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
not a teenager yet.
Well,
He's got
if
two
you're if
young
you're if you're
kids.
early teens and what if you're like six to early teens, you're a kid. Like I'm sorry, like you know, you're either a boy or girl. Like like I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
Like
no, he's got two young kids. He's got a wife.
it's so devastating though.
Oh, it is. It
Like
is.
oh, this poor guy, 41 years old, Bill, 41, and he's dead.
Terrible.
I mean, again, all the love to his family, all the love to the NASCAR, and his team, and you know everyone that knew him, loved him, all the fans out there. Two-time racing champion, and just a legend in so many people, to so many people, and the inspiration. And it's devastating to watch. When I learned the news, we broke the news on the air. Um, when I learned of the news, it was shocking to see, um, and to know that he was in the hospital dealing with this. um Before everything, it made it even more shocking, and it happened in a blink of an eye. This is another one of those deaths where it just happens in a blink of an eye.
Yes.
Like, wow, when you least expect it. Kyle Busch gone at the far too young of an age of 41 years old. um
So, yeah, rest in peace. Just a terrible loss. This is someone who has won, who has, I don't know much about NASCAR. I'm trying to see.
a two-time NASCAR Cup Series champion. um
Two-time regular series champion,
mhm. the
two-time.
the ninth all-time Cup Series wins list. 234 combined wins in NASCAR's top three series. Um, I I believe he never won the Daytona
No, he
500.
did not.
Yeah, but of course, still does it. He incredible, incredible, um, uh, racer. Will um, and he'll be missed for sure. Um,
So,
Sinus
rest in
infection,
peace.
sinus infection, that they're saying exacerbated by the G forces. So it's wild. It's just wild stuff.
Yeah, as someone who has sinus issues, this now terrifies me.
Well, you're not a racer, Bill. I mean,
No, I'm not.
Yeah, that's crazy stuff. He'll be missed.
Yeah, he'll be missed. Our condolences to his wife, his kids, his friends, his family, and his racing family too.
Yeah.
So, yeah, R.I.P. Kyle Busch, dead at the age of 41. Now we go from somber to some stuff that's gonna make me angry.
Hmm.
Okay, we got some NFL news for you today. Oh, Reggie knew he was gonna hear about this
Hmm.
from me.
Yeah.
The New York Giants have just signed GM Joe Shane to a multi-year extension. Yay! Yay! Oh, you were expecting this, weren't you, Reg?
Yeah. To be fair to the Giants,
Oh God, here we go.
he has been working somewhat well with Harbaugh, and let's make this clear, Bill. If we haven't made it clear already, we'll make it even more crystal clear because I don't think people truly understand. Joe Shane has nothing to do with this Giants team anymore.
He doesn't.
This is John Harbaugh's team. He is running the show. Joe Shane has nothing to do with it. Joe Shane is just a guy. And
Why
that's
did
why
he
he
a
signed
one-year
these
extension?
because he's been a good guy for John Harbaugh.
Just be the guy.
He has been doing a great job being the spokesperson, being on the sidelines, allowing John Harbaugh to dictate the terms of this football team. And he's done a nice job of just being that spokesperson. GM in name only is
You
basically
know
how
what?
I'm
I
putting it.
think right now it's too early to give him the multi-year extension
I think
because
so too. As a matter of fact,
because
no. As a matter of fact, I
what
would have fired him. I would have fired him now.
he would have been out the door with if I was in charge, he would have been out the door with Dable.
Yeah.
He would have been out like why did you like the thing that and I know this is like nearly a year old, but folks, hear me out. John Mara, why the hell did you after firing Brian Dable, why on God's green earth did you keep Joe Shane? Like, what the hell is going on? And listen, and I'm thinking, okay, are they gonna? Because I thought that was unusual because usually, folks, when a head coach gets fired, the GM is usually right behind them. Because when a new GM, or usually when a GM gets fired, the head coach gets fired unless there's some weird circumstance. Unless it's some, legal stuff, or maybe they step down due to health or personal reasons. But because usually when a new GM comes in, they want to bring in their own people. And but I was thinking with when Dable was out the door, why wasn't Shane out the door? And again, we should be playing that Hard Knocks clip over and over and over and over again, and we should make John Mara watch it fucking Clockwork Orange style. Have you seen Clockwork Orange, Reg? Have
Uh,
you have you seen Clockwork Orange?
no.
I'm sure you've seen the clip where Malcolm McDowell's character Alex is sitting there watching it and his eyes are like this.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
clip or the picture.
yeah.
Yeah, no, we should make John Mara watch the Hard Knocks clip, Clockwork Orange style. So yeah, that is my yeah, and why because here's the thing. Right now, you're right. Joe Shane is doing a good job saying, okay, you know what? I'm going to let Harbaugh do what he's got to do, and I'm just going to stay out of it.
Yeah, I think
But what if Joe
ultimately,
Shane tries to meddle? And then, and maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. What if him and Harbaugh get into something?
but this is my point. And I know you're
Okay.
upset. I know you're upset because I would have fired Joe Shane, and I would
Oh, I
still,
would have. He would have been out the door with Dable.
and he should still be fired now. Like let's not waste any more time here. I think the relationship between Harbaugh and Shane is good enough, maybe better than we think, that it's enough for the Giants to give him a multi-year extension. I just don't think, in my honest opinion, I just think that, look, if Joe Shane does what he's supposed to do and stay out the way because he's been horrible as a GM,
Oh, he
if
has
he
been.
if he stays out the way, then the multi-year extension is worth it and warranted. If he starts to meddle in a little bit, where the Giants look stupid because there should be no reason why Joe Shane should get a multi-year extension. After what he has done with this franchise, you know, of course, the rest of the NFC East is laughing at the Giants right now. Like to me, it's just not a smart move. You're talking about rebuilding a franchise and building a new culture. Well, the past culture was Joe Shane. So get rid of him.
He's the one that cost us Saquon Barkley. And remember, hard knocks
Oh.
clip, Clockwork Orange style, John Mara.
Oh, Jesus.
No, 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 never forget. But no, this is a stupid idea. And like, listen, is the thing is, if it was like next year and things were going well and Joe Shane is staying out of John Harbaugh's way, okay, fine, whatever. But now it's like, what if Joe Shane does get into John Harbaugh's way?
Right.
Then John Morrow's gonna have to lay the law down on Joe Shane and say, hey, Harbaugh's in charge. We're just here. Like we said this when John Harbaugh got fired. You gotta let Harbaugh be the man. And I just hope he doesn't become the Giants version of Brian Cashman.
I don't think so.
At
Because
least Brian Cashman has the
well,
rings.
here's the problem. Brian Cashman's actually done a great job at, building a baseball team. Joe Shane has done a horrible job at building a football team to a point where he's no longer building a football team.
Joe, this is Harbaugh's world, and we're just living in it.
Exactly. No, look, as long as Joe Shane stays aside, maybe if he wants to give his input, fine. Just step aside and allow the real football guys to do the job. And then you continue to be spokesperson for the organization. Because that's your job right now. You're
Great.
the spokesperson. You are the PR nightmare for the front office. You are there to just speak. That's what it is. I
No,
digress.
that's what you are.
I digress.
Anyway,
Multi-year
so
extension. I was not expecting a multi-year
no,
extension.
me neither. I was pissed.
I can't believe that happened.
Welcome to today's episode of Stupid People Doing Stupid Things.
Yeah. But let's see. Look, John Harbaugh, look, if he's getting a multi-year extension, then something is okay between Joe Shane and John Harbaugh. Like
Yeah, they must be on good terms then.
they must be on better terms than we think. And look, if it's gonna work, it has to be on good terms. Like so, in that case, I'm actually thrilled about that. But I don't know, man. Like to me, like if you're gonna truly change the culture, changing culture means firing everyone from the past culture.
Exactly. And
Disregard.
okay, other NFL news. Dude, it's finally here. Aaron Rodgers announced this week that this will be his last season and he will be retiring. Finally.
The nightmare is officially over. Fine, whatever. He wants to come back for another year and get his ass whooped. That's fine with me.
Because we were thinking, is this going to be it? And then he's probably thinking, I have to go back into the darkness room and think about this.
Yeah. Um,
um, but no, dude, it's the end of an era.
an end of a incredible Hall of Fame career. Um, and look, Aaron Rodgers is an all-time quarterback. He's a Super Bowl champion. And
Super
look,
Bowl MVP, NFL MVP.
he has been absolutely amazing his entire career. He has been stellar. And look, he did not have a great time with the Jets, and I never wanted him and everything. Um, but that doesn't mean he didn't have a great career. His career is awesome. I wish I could have seen more championships out of him with the Packers because there are a lot of Packers teams that allowed that to slip away.
No, I agree. So, and you know what? This is now officially the end of the era that we grew up watching.
It's true.
Brady's retired, the Manning brothers are retired, Drew Brees is retired, Brett Favre's retired,
It was cool to see Philip Rivers
Philip
last
Rivers is
season.
retired. Yeah, for 5 seconds. And now Aaron Rodgers is going to retire. Dude, this is the end of the era that we grew up watching.
Yeah, man.
It's officially over. We're now in the Mahomes, Allen, Lamar era. But in a way, dude, it's kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, because look, when we're kids, it's these are the people that we looked up to that you know we watched grow into Hall of Fame caliber quarterbacks that we grew up to watch as champions. You know, I think the most emotional champion out of all those quarterbacks that we watched was Drew Brees, given the New Orleans effect, um, and the fact that he came into Sean Payton's system and thrived in that system. Like, and but of course, all the quarterbacks were pretty emotional.
No, no, but knowing that this is the end of that era we grew up on,
Yeah,
it really hits you, you know?
yeah.
It really hits you. So, yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you this. What Aaron Rodgers is, I'll pull it up right now. Ready? Okay, Aaron Rodgers is Super Bowl champion, Super Bowl MVP, four-time most valuable player, first team All Pro, second team All Pro, 10-time Pro Bowler, Pro Bowl. He holds the records for career passer rating, career touchdown interception ratio. This man is a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
But you know what? I will not miss the antics.
No. And of course, there's those things I'm obviously not going to miss, and the him ruining the Jets, like it's like don't expect me to show up to his retirement party in Canton, and his Hall of Fame party in Canton, I mean, um, but you'd be crazy not to acknowledge the incredible career that he had. So one
And
strange different world, Bill.
that we also that we're also the yeah also the antics, the Jets, the whole thing with the COVID vaccine. We won't miss that.
No.
But now he's going off into the sunset, and then he can spend time with his wife, who may or may not exist.
Exactly.
I still
Um,
don't think she's real, Reg.
and it,
I still don't think his teammates say they never met her. His teammates' spouses said they'd never met her.
yeah.
So I don't think Aaron Rodgers' wife is real.
Um,
Do you think she's real?
I mean, I don't know. I'll choose to believe Aaron Rodgers until it comes out that it's not real.
All right, so do you think he had to go to the darkness route to think about this?
I think in his heart he knew he was going to come back for one more year, and I hope he gets his ass kicked because why the hell would you do that? You know, you have
Yeah.
nothing else to prove, bro. Like it's over.
But you know what,
It's over.
dude? Like we said, it's the end of an era.
Yeah. Boy, would it be great for the Jets to make the playoffs and face the Steelers and kick his ass to retirement? That would be awesome. It's just a dream. It's never gonna happen. But wouldn't it be awesome for the Jets to make the playoffs and face the Steelers and kick his ass to retirement?
Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, it would be so beautiful, so sweet
How sweet it is.
to be
That would
smacked by us.
do 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 do. How sweet it is to be smacked by the Jets.
Hmm. Shat on, pissed on, facing
All
the
right,
holy, facing the holy baptism of retirement.
and you would enjoy every minute of it.
Oh, I would love every second of it. But again, it's never gonna happen. Jets are not that good. Um, Congratulations, Aaron Rodgers.
Yes, we wish him the well.
Yeah.
Well, all right, now it's Friday. Guess what that means?
Top five.
Top five.
Top five.
It is time for another Friday top five. And we got a fun one for you today, folks, don't we?
Yeah.
We have today, our topic is the top five lovable losers,
Hmm.
which
So
Reggie explained it to
the
everyone.
so any lovable loser sports team that has ever existed. I'm talking about the five greatest, top five lovable loser sports teams. I have an idea of where my list is gonna go. So let's
Yeah,
let's
I'm just winging it.
let's get right to it, Bill.
All right. Who's your number five?
My number five is the Detroit Lions.
Okay.
I mean, all those years of just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. They had a massive playoff, well, not massive playoff drought. They had a championship drought. Um, um, And of course, all those years of them just losing in the NFC North and being clowns of the NFL, uh, their fans have remained truly loyal to that franchise. So my number five, lovable losers, Detroit Lions.
All right. My number five is, I think you would be okay. My number five are the New York Mets.
Okay, why is that your number five?
Because you know what it is? It's like that team, they go up and down. You think they're going to have a good season. And Met fans still stay, and the Met fans are still passionate about their team, even though they keep losing.
Hmm.
And even though they keep their hopes up, they get their hopes up, everything gets destroyed, but they still stay in. And you got to give them credit for that. And even when they have those playoff runs, 2015, they made it to the World Series, and 2024, they almost made it to the World Series, and the fans still stick with them. So that's why I think they're lovable losers. Number five, the New York Mets.
Yeah.
All right, what's your number four?
My number four, they haven't been losers for a while, but for 17 years they were. That is the Buffalo Bills, National Football League. Uh,
Okay.
if you ever, I mean, I went to college with groups, not a group, groups of Buffalo Bills fans that are just so passionate about the fan base. The Bills, obviously, over the past few years have become a massive wagon, and cool for them. But even through the down years, the community of Buffalo Bills fans never wavered from their support. And the Bills always had their backs, the fans had their backs. Like, it is truly just an amazing relationship between fan and team. And like it's truly a powerful community. So my number four is the Buffalo Bills.
Okay. My number four, this might seem unusual.
Hmm.
The Chicago White Sox. They've won one World Series in the 20 years, but I remember when they had their worst season, it was either a year or two ago. Some fans said, "Oh, this was a great season." Oh, the sweet, innocent kids. But you know what really makes them lovable? They have a very famous fan
Hmm.
who happens to be second only to God,
Hey,
the Holy Father, Pope Leo. Did you see recently? I think the White Sox presented him a Paul Konerko jersey.
a Paul Konerko jersey. That's a throwback for sure.
But don't forget, there's that famous video of him at the 2005 World Series.
Yeah,
So you gotta give credit just for that, that your fan, that one of your biggest fans is, I don't know, one of the most important people on earth.
exactly. And I'm sure when Konerko hit that grand slam against the Astros, I am very positive that the Pope, who obviously he wasn't the Pope at the time, but I'm sure he was very excited.
Yeah, there's that famous picture of him at the game.
Yep.
No, just for that, come on, that deserves you to be put on the list just for that.
Yeah.
Like knowing that one of your fans is the most important, one of the most important people on earth right now.
Yeah.
Okay, number three.
All right. Number three, Bill,
Yeah,
goes to the Cleveland Browns.
really.
The Cleveland Browns fans, obviously, still, I mean, if you watch the Browns games, um, their fans still show out, man. They are so beloved, even though they are one of the most horrific franchises that have ever existed. And of course, it's not their fault. That's Art Modell's fault. Um, but no, man, through all the losing and the suffering and all the off the field drama and everything about the team that just makes them look like a massive laughing stock. Fans always show out. And I think that the moral is, teams that are always loved no matter what, that represents the Browns big time. They're my number three.
Okay, my number three, this was actually a college team that
Okay.
was lovable for a while because and this was a team that they just won the national championship,
Hmm.
the University of Indiana.
Okay.
You
That's a
know
good
why? Because
one.
I remember that because I remember I watched a 60 Minutes thing on them, and people were saying like people would go to the games just for the tailgate, not the game.
Yeah.
But when you go now undefeated and win the national championship, and and so this is a team that now has mad respect, and this was a team that got stood by all the steps of the way. So the University of Indiana, they're losers no more,
Hmm.
but still lovable because of their dynamic fan base.
Yes.
And you got to give them credit for that. All right, Reggie, you're number two.
My number two goes to the Chicago Cubs. And look, they've won a World Series over the past 10 years.
Yes.
But they've also had a plethora of losing seasons and um, a lot of heartbreaking moments in Cubs history. One of them being the curse of the Billy Goat
Yep.
and everything endured during the curse.
Yes.
I mean, it is you can't have Chicago sports history without the Cubs. And there are more. I mean, I truly believe this. Like, I think there are more Cubs fans than White Sox fans,
I
and
think so too.
they've suffered a lot. And the Cubs went through some tough times, but the magic of Wrigley Field, obviously through the great years of Sammy Sosa hitting those dingers out of the ballpark, Harry Carey doing the take me out to the ball game, and just everything about that franchise uh brings all the love to not only to Chicago fans but to baseball fans in general. So, number two lovable losers, the Chicago Cubs.
My number two is someone you had, the Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Because this is a team that has recently, over the last few years, just had resurgence themselves. And even though Buffalo, they still come out, and you got to give credit to Bills Mafia. They do a lot of charity work, which I really respect.
Yes.
And but knowing that this team that lost four consecutive Super Bowls in the 90s, one of them was the last time that Mark Halpern was actually happy about the Cowboys, and he doesn't have that Super Bowl video on DVD probably. Mark, I'm just kidding. But no, the Buffalo Bills, like this is a team that has a dedicated fan base. They have a dedicated fan base, and I told you the story. My friend who got married back in January, he went to Buffalo, and a bunch of his friends were there, and the game was on the day of the Bills Broncos playoff, and everybody was watching the game on their phones.
Right.
They were watching the game on their phones, and it was fun. And they were playing the "Go Go Buffalo, Go Go Buffalo." But no, this is a team, and they jump on tables too. So you got to give these guys credit. They are hardcore, stick with their team thin and thin. And now, over the last 5 years, when Brady packed his swim trunks for South Beach, the Bills have taken that division.
Yeah,
So yeah, that is my number two, the Buffalo Bills. Reggie, your number one.
it's a tough one for number one. Before I give my number one, my honorable mention has to go to the New York Knicks because if you know the Knicks fan base like I do, Bill, we went through some difficult, and very difficult times, very dark, difficult times. And yet, the Madison Square Garden is always sold out for Knicks games, no matter what. So, honorable mention goes to the Knicks, but my number one all-time lovable loser team goes to the New York Mets.
Okay.
There is no other incredible fan base that has to endure jokes and misery and just plain old awful baseball more than the Met fans have to endure. The Met franchise has to endure. No matter how many great players they sign, and they have signed great players over the years, no matter all the great managers that have walked through that team, there is not one time where they've lost a fan base for their misery. And like I said, there's been so many great people, and it just never works out every single time. Every single time they've had a good thing happen, it never works out. Like I said, great managers, great players, great front office, moving in the home run dimensions so that it can be easier to hit home runs, right? No matter what, it never works out. And yet the fan base is the best fan base in baseball, better than the Yankee fan base.
No, I agree. I agree.
It's tough, and it's tough for me to say, but it's the truth. You know, Met fans suffer through the worst of the worst in sports history. None like it. And yet, every single opening day, there's optimism, there's excitement, there's love, and then there's baseball.
And then there's the first pitch and the season's over. Oh, come on. You knew I was going to say that joke.
That's why they're my number one. The New York
Opening
Mets.
day, and here's the first pitch. And the season's over. But yeah. All right. My number one, Reggie, is actually your number two, the Chicago Cubs. Because
Yeah.
here's the thing, and I have respect for teams like the Cubs and even the Red Sox, as much as a
Mm.
Yankee fan I am, because you got to think about it this way. The Cubs, they went through the Black Cat. They went through the Black Cat, Bartman, which,
But Bartman was rough. That was rough.
and I think you all know the story. I actually reached out to him to come on the podcast. That was a big rigmarole. I For those of you who are new, here's the quick version. I actually said to Patchman and Olaf Sky Halpern, I said, hey, maybe why don't we reach out to him? And I literally had to do a paper trail, and it was during COVID, so I had nothing better to do. I reached out to this, I read like a bunch of articles, and I reached out to this reporter who saw Bartman that night and spoke to his um to his agent. So I said, can you tell me about his agent? Well, I think he's a lawyer, so I had to look up law offices in Chicago, and I reached out to him, and he
Hmm.
said, and I said, hey, I would love to have Steve on my show. And he said, hey, you know what? Mr. Bartman told me to tell you thank you for your interest, but he's a very private man and just wants to move on with his life. and he doesn't do interviews. But you know what? We tried. We can't say we didn't try, Reggie. Um,
Exactly.
we tried. We tried. We tried.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, the Chicago Cubs, Bartman, the Black Cat, and I'll even give an honorable mention to the Red Sox. They went through with the Bambino and Bucky Dent and Buckner and Aaron Boone. But no, but like teams like that, you gotta give them credit because when the Cubs finally broke the Billy Goat curse in 2016, or going back when the Red Sox broke the curse in 2004, as much as that makes me vomit. You got to think about it this way. In the case of the Red Sox, if you're a 60-year-old Yankee fan before 2004, you've seen a good chunk of their World Series wins.
Hmm.
If you're a 60-year-old Red Sox fan at that point, you have not seen. Or 2016 with the Cubs, if you're a 70-year-old Yankee fan, you've seen like half their World Series titles. If you're a Cubs fan, you've seen nothing. And when those Cubs fans, or for that case, the Red Sox fans, when they finally win a World Series and they break out the shirts that say, "Now I can die in peace,"
Yep.
you understand that. Because, Reggie, you got to look at this. We're spoiled Yankee fans.
Yes.
We're spoiled. We're spoiled. Especially us in our generation. We were around for 5 World Series titles. 96, 98, 99, 2000, 2009. And we haven't won a World Series in 17 years, which is getting kind of depressing here, Reggie. It's getting kind of depressing.
Mhm. Yeah, the 2009, needs a partner,
But, it's getting kind of depressing here, folks. But you know what? At the end of the day, Reg, it's like as much as we're now waiting for a drought, we've seen our Yankees win 5 World Series.
Word.
Like there were Red Sox fans who went 86 years. And Cub fans that went 108 years.
Hmm.
But that's why I give Cub fans credit. They still show up to Wrigley Field every opening day. And they waited that long to see I remember exactly where I was when that happened. I was in my college dorm room. When it happened, I was screaming.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is my number one, the Chicago Cubs. Well, folks, that is our show for today, isn't it?
Yes. And it's a great show, Bill.
Yay, we had fun with this one.
Yep.
Aren't our shows always great?
Yeah, man. The ups and downs of the emotional roller coaster at sports.
Yeah,
Um, we appreciate you, love you, and thank you for always joining us. If you like what you see, and why wouldn't you?
because his content's amazing. Um, we also Monday we're taking off, right?
Mm, yeah, Memorial
We're
Day.
taking off Monday, so we'll see
Um,
you next.
I had Memorial Day plans, but based on the rain, it looks like it's non-existent. So, but we'll take off Monday.
Yeah.
Holiday.
I remember you said that. Unless you want to do a show Monday, let me know. Um,
Mm, let's take off Monday.
all right, let's take off Monday. We'll be back next week. We're also going to do a Bombers banter next week.
Yes, that and you'll we'll certainly bring you a Bombers banter next week. Um,
And also, folks, enjoy your long weekend. But please, while you're out barbecuing, going to the beach, please remember what this weekend's about, this Memorial Day weekend,
mhm.
as we honor those who served our country, especially those who made the ultimate sacrifice
Yep.
and gave their lives defending our freedom. So please, just when you're out there barbecuing this weekend and going to the beach and doing fun things, just remember what this weekend's really about. So For Danny Boy Reggio, I'm Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy. Go to www.sportsinsanitynetwork.com. Check out our blogs. Check out our podcast available on all platforms. And check us here on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that bell. And as always, thank you to the Dugout of Millwood. So for Danny Boy Reginald, for Bill Corpus Crispy Murphy, stay safe and take care.
And enjoy your weekend, folks.
Yes, enjoy your weekend. We'll be back next week.
Peace.